Hey, good evening, everybody. This is the score digit selection for Super Bowl squares. For those of you that are watching this, you do not have to watch this. This is just video proof via the live YouTube stream that I did, in fact, do a random selection for the Super Bowl squares. This year, we're going to be doing a quad tier system of score digits, and the reason being for that is so that way it truly randomizes the winners based off each quarter. So if you're familiar with how traditional squares work, usually you have a fixed set of score digits for that game. Didn't want to do that this year because let's say you landed on a poor number for a Super Bowl, you just spent $250 and you're out. This gives you 4 opportunities to have good numbers. It also makes it so that if you had good numbers and the game wasn't really moving very well and those scores kept staying at the same quarter, first quarter, halftime, third quarter, we made it so that way you weren't, the same person wasn't winning the same prizes over and over again. So this is just this kind of spreads the love a little bit, makes it a little bit more random, and spreads the prizes around. So in this case, there's going to be 8 wheels, numbered from 0 to 9. I'm going to do each wheel according to the quarter and the team. Again, you do not have to watch this. This is going to be a long one because I have to do 8 wheels. But tomorrow I'm going to be sending out this video to all the players via email so you can see your score digits and kind of plot out to see if you have good numbers, bad numbers, that kind of thing. But again, the quad tier system makes it so that way we're kind of spreading the good numbers around a little bit more, and it's not just bunched up with a few people who could potentially win all the prizes if the game doesn't move very well throughout. So, all right, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and spin for the first quarter. New England Patriots on the board, top board from left to right. Here we go. All right, that was the score digit selection for New England Patriots first quarter. Now we're going off to the first quarter Seattle Seahawks on the board from top to bottom. Here we go. All right, that was the score selection for first quarter, Seattle Seahawks. Now moving on to the second quarter, New England Patriots. On the board from left to right, here we go. All right, that was the second quarter, New England Patriots. Now moving on to the second quarter, Seattle Seahawks. On the board from top to bottom, here we go. All right, that was the second quarter score digits for the Seattle Seahawks. Now moving on to the third quarter score digit selection for New England Patriots. On the board from left to right, here we go. All right, that was the score digit selection for third quarter New England Patriots. Now off to the third quarter Seattle Seahawks on the board from top to bottom. Here we go. All right, that was the score digit selection for third quarter Seattle Seahawks. Now moving on to the final and reverse final score digit selections for New England Patriots on the board from left to right. Here we go. All right, that was the score digit selection for final and reverse final for New England Patriots. Now off to the Seattle Seahawks on the board from top to bottom. Here we go. All right, everyone, that was the score digit selection for the 2026 Super Bowl, Seattle Seahawks versus New England Patriots. I will have this board sent out to all the players via email and with a list of all the prizes. And good luck to everyone who played. Have a good night.